Hi guys, welcome to another week of English 1A Online. This week we are moving a step forward into the idea of academic or scholarly writing. In the past, you've probably written a lot of book reports and biographies and autobiographies, and you even wrote kind of an autobiography for me when you turned in your narrative essay. Now we're looking more at adding research to our papers to make sure that you're creating an analysis of something. You're looking at a social concept and you're taking a stance to provide a unique idea or perspective on something. And so this particular week, we're looking at how to integrate sources, and I want you to specifically pay attention to the credibility of something. Because if I were to go online and go to Google, I could find probably a million different sources on the death penalty. You know what? I'm gonna do that for you right now. Death penalty. Look at that, 191 million results in a half of a second. So there are a lot of sites out there to weed through, and chances are probably over half of those are not considered credible. Probably more like 3/4 of them are not considered credible, at least not for scholarly work. So if we come down here, we have the deathpenaltyinfo.org. Death Penalty Information Center. Now, chances are that is credible, but anytime you've got an organization sponsoring things, they are going to have a bias because they're going to try to give you information whether to support or disagree with the death penalty. So that might be okay, but you have to take that bias into account. Wikipedia, we know, is an open source shared resource that cannot be considered credible because anyone can update those pages. You're going to keep going through here. .org, same thing. We've got some, well, Yahoo, not really. So some top stories. I would skip over those. Same kind of thing. We've got a database or an organization. So far, here's the first one that I see that I really maybe want to trust, pbs.org. PBS is going to have probably an unbiased view. Of course, the writers are always biased, but PBS has a credible name. It is a name that has been out there for a long time. Excuse me. They're going to do their research to find the best sources possible for you. So that one might work. Same thing with New York Times. Again, they have a credible name. So you're going to go through here, but a faster way to do that, excuse me, is to go to Google Scholar, which of course I'm not seeing on here now. Let's just go Google Scholar. Where did it go? There it is. Google Scholar. So scholar.google.com and death penalty. Here we go. All of these sources are going to be already academically verified for accuracy, so this would be a great place to start for academic research. However, fastest way I think to get credible sources is to go to our online library, which I showed you how to do in another source. Excuse me, but I will leave the finding of citations up to you. When you add a source to your paper, you need to make sure it is credible. So that's one thing we talk about in our discussion area is on credible sources. But your homework this week, oops, sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. I don't want to go to announcements. I want to go to modules. Our homework is to look at sources and how to use sources in a paper. So I'm scrolling down here to incorporating sources. Now this is an example of how I want you to set up your document for me. All right, so number one, you're going to summarize a source. Number two, you're going to paraphrase a source. And number three, you're going to quote a source. All three of those things with MLA formatted citations. Here is an example. This is the direct source, copied word for word from an online article. I gave you a summary, and notice I have the colors. The color there is an informal reference, and this here is a parenthetical formal reference. The paraphrase is when you take the exact same article and make it shorter, but you still have an informal reference and a formal reference. And then, of course, a quote has an introduction or a signal phrase followed by the direct quote with a formal citation, and then a works cited at the very bottom. So this is what I'm looking at from you guys, because I want to see that after you've read through my lectures and you've done some research, that you know how to summarize, paraphrase, and directly quote from an outside source, and you know how to do it with proper citation style. So again, look through my lectures here. I just press the back button. I have them under determining credibility, summarizing, paraphrasing, and quoting. So those are my 2 lectures I really want you to pay attention to, and then go ahead and work on this assignment. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will see you online. Thanks, guys.